guys, it's me Julie and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing the birthday book tag. So yes, as you're seeing this, I'm officially a 15-year-old. Anyway, let's get into this video. Number one is birthday cake. Pick a book with a plot that seems super cliche, but you love it anyway. So for this one, I have picked Fake It Till You Break It by Jen P. Nguyen. I read this over the course of like 2 days. I think I ended up rating it a 5 out of 5 stars. As of right now, I would probably put that down to like a 4 because it wasn't life-changing, but I just absolutely fell in love with it. And it was crazy. I loved it. I don't know what sparked that for me. So yeah, it was really exciting. And this book I got from Book Outlet and it's really damaged, but I don't care. It's great and I love it. So the concept for this is, you know, fake dating and haters to lovers. And I feel like those are the most common tropes of all time. So I felt it was really cliche, but I just fell in love with it. This book follows two main characters and we follow both of their perspectives, and those are Mia and Jake's perspective. They are neighbors. Both of their moms love putting Mia and Jake in the most like together situations so that they're always spending time together because they really ship them together as a couple. And of course they hate each other and they just hate the way their moms won't leave them alone about each other. So one day they come up with a plan to start fake dating and then have this really big traumatic breakup, and then hopefully that'll lead their parents to stop bothering them about it and just leave them alone. But of course, you know where that's gonna go. Of course, they fall in love and the story goes on, and I just loved it. It was such a great book, and I don't know what it was about it that really just clicked for me, that I just fell in love with. But it was just such a fun adventure, and there were so many like, I feel like could have been cheesy parts in here, but I just fell in love with them anyway. I felt no hate towards this book. I loved the characters. I loved their relationship, even though they hated each other at first, and it was just fantastic. Number 2, Party Guests, your most anticipated book release for this year. Now, I don't have this book yet, but by the time, like a couple weeks after, once Christmas hits, I will have this book. So it's already released. It released on the 17th of November, so about a month ago. I am so excited to read it and just hold it in my hands. I've already held it at a store, but it's not my own, you know? So my grandma is buying me, or has bought me, A Promised Land by Barack Obama, and I am so incredibly excited for this book. I went online, it said it's almost 800, but when I was in the store, it didn't look like 800 pages, so I don't really know how big it is or how large it is, but I'm pretty sure it's a pretty large book. Earlier this year, I read Michelle Obama's memoir, Becoming, and I just fell in love. And even though I already loved Michelle Obama in the first place, I just so much appreciate her effort to end childhood obesity and to help military families with joining forces and Let's Move, and just her effort put into helping everyone in the world just to be better and better themselves and live a healthier, nutritional life. I'm doing a report on her right now and I'm finding so many things out, and it's just so exciting. She's my favorite person of all time. I love her so much and I appreciate her so much. I wish I could meet her, but I don't have the ability to do that. A Promised Land by Barack Obama has come out on the 17th of this year in November, and I am so ready to touch it. I want to see Barack's perspective. I've seen Michelle's, now I want to see Barack's, and I'm just so excited. I feel like Barack Obama and Michelle are just the best couple in the world. Number 3 is Birthday Presents, a book that surprised you with how much you loved it. There's so many options for this. I love almost every book I pick up. It wasn't that difficult of a choice because I found this at Target, okay? And I'll just show you the book now. It is called Before the Sword by Grace Lin. Mulan is like my favorite Disney princess, but Mulan, I have about 3 books like based off of her story, and I'm getting like 3 more for Christmas. I just fall in love with the stories, okay? So Mulan is like my all-time favorite Disney princess, and I just love her. Not to mention, I was in Target one day, like half a year ago, I was looking for The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes because it just released back in May, and so I was going through the aisles in Target. I saw this, and I was like, ugh, I have the money to get it. Should I get it or should I not? And I'm so happy I bought it because I had no clue what it was about. I just saw the cover and I don't know what it is about this cover that I just love so much. I read this for the Reading Rush this year, and it surprised me so much. So this is about Mulan, and this is before like the original story we all know and love with her going off to war and fighting the Huns, but this is before that. And her sister Zoo, she gets bitten by the 9-legged spider, and Mulan has to set off on this quest alongside her companion, and it's just a crazy journey. And then there's people along the way that just interfere with this. There's so much action involved, and every page was just a blessing to my eyes. I just loved all the characters. I don't know what it was. I just fell in love with it, and I'm so happy I have it. And not to mention, other than the cover, the inside is so amazing. Fantastic book. I don't even know, it could be middle grade, it could be YA, but either way I fell in love with it. So number 4 is Happy Birthday Song, a book that certainly deserves all the hype it got. So for this one, I am picking The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. Of course, this book does deserve every bit of hype it received. It was so good, and the reason I bought it is because of the hype and because of the storyline. So this is about a teenage girl named Star Carter. She lives in a poor black neighborhood, but she attends a really fancy school. After a party she went to was interrupted by gunshots, she ran out and drove home with her friend, and along the way they are pulled over by a police officer. And Khalil gets shot and killed by the police officer. The rest of the story follows Star as she's trying to get justice for Khalil and all the other people who have passed due to police brutality. It was just such a great book, and it was so meaningful, and I feel like it should be a book that is like, you know, you have to read it in school, even though I think everyone who reads it should get purpose out of it. They should really listen to the concept and to what is really actually going on in the world today. It was a really great book and so meaningful. Number 5 is Happy Music. So a book with some very beautiful and truly memorable quotes. For this question, I ended up picking Swing because when it said quotes, I automatically thought of like poetry, poetic form, or just written in verse books, and this was the first one that really came to mind. I read this also for the Reading Rush, and it is a very good book. I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars overall. It is just crazy how good he writes his story. This one in particular is written in verse, and I believe most of his stories are written in verse, so it went by pretty quickly. It was just a fantastic book, and there was one quote at the end that completely got me in tears. It really, really got me, so I can't say it, obviously. So this is about a boy named Walt who has a crush on his best friend, and he starts like writing her like poems or love songs almost. So one day Walt discovers a stash of like old love letters, and he starts using these letters and compiling them and using his own words as well, and giving these letters to his crush and best friend, Sam, who has unfortunately friend-zoned him. Sam, I don't like her, okay? I really don't like her. There is a baseball element to it, and of course music. It involves a lot of jazz and baseball. It is just a great book overall. Number 7 is Sweet Birthday Memories, a book that kept you incredibly happy during a sad or demanding period of your life. So for this one, I have chosen To All the Boys I've Loved Before. I reread this last month and fell in love with it all over again. I remember just falling in love with it the first time I read it, but I forgot really why I loved it, so I went back to it recently, and while I was rereading it this time, I was kind of, you know, going through a tough time, and I still kind of am. I have no hate for this book. I rated it a 5 out of 5 stars again, and I fell in love with the characters, Lara Jean, Peter Kavinsky, Josh. This is probably my favorite contemporary of all time. It is, I don't know what it is about these books that brings me so much joy and keeps me reading and puts me at peace with the world. Like, when all this bad stuff was happening, I was reading this book and I was getting enjoyment out of the book. It really got me through the day and it really helped me. I read for like 5 hours straight because I was just so invested, and it was such a great book. You can see me think or talk more about my feelings for this in my week of reading vlog I recently posted last month, so if you want to check that out, I'll put it up here in the corners. It was just a fantastic book overall, and I cannot wait to get to the second one again. I'm so excited to reread this entire trilogy, and so good. So those were all the questions for the birthday book tag. But yeah, since my birthday is coming up, you should be looking forward to like a birthday book haul, as well as maybe even a birthday weekly reading vlog. It could happen, it could not. Anyway, I had a great time filming this, and I really dove into my feelings here, and I really like that. I feel like this was a bit more subtle than most of my videos, which is fine. But yeah, I had a great time, and I will see you next Monday or Wednesday on my channel. Bye!